92, 9:07 with Maddie, Jason and Arnold on the first day after we've returned from the New Year's holiday. How are you doing? It's January 2nd and as promised we are joined by Pam Xiao. The minute she walked in I went, hey, she looks so familiar. And it's because she is the sister of one of my ex-classmates.
So cool.
And they look alike.
Small world.
Yeah. Hi Pam, how are you?
Hi.
Hi, okay. Let me just get all the mics. This is our first day back from the holiday, so everything is still a bit rusty.
Yeah, we're all feeling very, very rusty.
Yeah. And Pam, you are a so-called internet marketing guru. So you specialize on marketing online particularly, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And you've got your marketing boy here, Leon. Shall I turn on your mic too, Leon? Leon looks like he's about to fall asleep.
No, I'm just Chinese. My eyes are really small.
So Leon, you assist Pam with all the marketing stuff?
Yes, I do. I basically take direction from Pam.
Alright,
is
so
the
you've
main
learned...
driver of everything. I'm really, as we said before, the marketing boy.
Alright, back to Pam. Pam, so you started your online business when you were 28, deep in debt?
Yeah, correct. It was a bad situation.
Would you like to elaborate more so that we feel better about debt situation? And the US can feel better about their debt situation too.
Yeah, correct. At 28 years old, when I was 25, I got my first credit card. It was a good idea at the time.
It seemed like a good idea.
It seemed like a good idea, having more credit. And I went shopping and I did a lot of travel. And they accumulate. And 28, suddenly, I got 14,000 credit card debt. It was 4 times my salary.
Right.
Man.
Yeah, it was an interesting moment in my life,
but it's free money.
It's free money, yeah.
It's free money.
That's what happened.
Until we see the bill, they realize it's not free.
Till that 24% kicks in.
So how did you climb out of that situation? And
what I did was I decided, even if I got promoted every 6 months in my corporate MNC job, I couldn't pay off the debt, So I decided that I was going to launch a business somehow.
Right.
And obviously I had no money.
Sounds like a sensible idea.
That was potentially from a grave situation into a graver situation. But you made it work. I mean, and tell us a little bit about what you decided to do specifically and why you were so confident, or maybe you weren't so confident at the time, but you did it.
I guess it was a situational position because at the time I had credit card debt. Lawyers were hunting me, to pay off the bill. I joined a new company and I realized a week later I didn't like my boss a lot. Right? Just to add to it, right? Just to add to it. And I learned internet marketing and I realized the internet had a huge potential of making money.
do you think it's because also that you started early and now that potential of earnings is less because a lot more people are on it?
I think it really depends because firstly, I started earlier. However, now there are more people online.
Yeah.
So it balances it off. You know?
So it hasn't been like tapped out.
No, it's
like
not.
Sometimes you get the feeling there's like a zillion websites out there. How can mine possibly stand out?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
There are many websites, but 80% of them are usually doing it wrong anyway.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
if you do it correctly,
Probably 99% more.
9%. A huge chunk of them have an online presence, and it's white elephant, and no one sees them, no one finds them, and even if they find them, it says the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
So that's where you come in to tell us how to stand out.
Yeah.
And that's coming up next, and she's also going to teach us how you can start your own online business with as little as $150. We have with us this morning Pam Xiao, who is an internet marketing coach, and you're known to love sharing your information and knowledge about internet marketing and the process of starting an online business, which seems to be everybody's idea these days of financial freedom.
Yes.
Like, oh, what do I do? I want to be debt free. Let's start an online business.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, but like you said, most people do it wrong, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And you obviously have done it right because you started at 28. What was your first business about?
It was the time I started. I had big challenges. The first thing was I had no money. Obviously, I was minus 14 already. Next was I had no product, no service, no idea, and I was very low tech. So I had all this against me, and I used to play the violin quite badly for 2 years. And I remembered it was very hard to find a violin teacher.
Yeah.
And online, there's a tool called Google AdWords keyword tool where it tells you the trends and demand of what people want in Singapore. And I realized every month, 800 Singaporeans are looking for violin lessons.
Wow.
You know, and I said it's interesting. And I remember it was extremely difficult to find a violin teacher online. So I realized the internet, instead of helping people, divided people. You know, there were 800 people who want violin lessons, and there were teachers who want students but they weren't online.
Yeah.
So I created a portal, and interestingly, I made sales within the next day.
Wow, so
That
you
is
became the
terrific.
link between
Yeah.
these two parties of
I
people.
became the link.
Wow,
Yeah.
okay. Interesting. So that sort of kicked you off.
Yeah, it kicked me off. Then I simply rinse and repeat.
Your online business first. Oh, wow,
Yeah.
you sort of kicked it off. So you were talking about mistakes. Many companies, many individuals have an online presence, but you were saying just before we went into the break that they might as well not have an online presence because they're doing it all wrong. So I mean, what are they doing wrong? I mean, is there a common unifying mistake that people and individuals and small companies make?
I think the first thing is not optimized online. It's like having the best store, but no one finds it. You know, so
Yes.
what's the point? You know, might as well just like forget it and not spend the money anyway.
Okay, so what do you do? Do you pay Google to make sure your search goes up all the way? I mean, what else can you do apart from that?
Essentially, you need to recognize there are certain keywords that people will search for a business,
Okay.
and then you need to structure the website in order for Google to rank it, because Google analyzes websites through keywords.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
so you know, to them, data is like the keywords is like what are you, you know. So if most people use the brand name as the main keyword, and that's a problem. Nobody finds like, you know, Internet Biz Owners Club, but the brand name, right? And that's a problem.
Right. So in your case, for example, your business is about internet marketing coaching.
Yeah.
So your keyword would be internet marketing coaching rather than Pam Xiao Enterprise, for example.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one of the biggest mistakes people make. Next is they are very they speak from themselves instead of what customers really want. So it's very egocentric. It's very like, oh, we're the best. You know, I guess it's not they don't want to be boast, but they don't know anything better.
Right.
You know, their mind is like, we need to project ourselves very well, but seriously, people are generally more self-centered. They want to know
Right.
how can you help them instead of how good you are.
So be more
Oh.
customer oriented instead of being
Yeah, in the
focused on
content.
yourself. Okay.
Oh. I also
Right.
think it's interesting though that your first business idea came from your own personal experience.
Correct.
Do you recommend people do the same thing? Like, find something that they know something about, or, I mean, basically you had a great idea based on your own personal experience. Isn't that the best way to go about starting any business?
It is true. However, through the internet, there are many ways you can find opportunities without any experiences.
Right.
You know, like
So even
finding
if
the
you're
demand.
a potato, a lump, and sit there on the sofa, you too
Yeah.
could be an internet millionaire.
Really? Jason, there is hope for you.
That's right.
And you said for as low as $150. Can you give us some sort of an example?
Okay, so for instance, the online, if you compare to a traditional business, to start it would at least like 20,000-30,000 at least, right? Because you need products and services, you need, you know, marketing. But online, you need a website, and you could buy a software for 150, and then create, do content and market yourself, and spend like $20 a month, you know,
Right.
and get inquiries like within the next day.
Okay, but you have to be your own webmaster, so to speak, or you have to get someone to host your website for
You can start doing it yourself, you know, but essentially I believe all business owners want to evolve to just managing it and not doing it.
Right, exactly.
That's
Yeah,
the plan.
right.
Yeah.
So that's
And in
down
your-
the road. Okay.
Sorry,
Yeah, go ahead.
and in your business, you're sort of a middleman.
Yes.
And that's maybe the cheapest sort of way to start, is if you can find opportunities to link people with other people. There's not a lot of
Yeah, correct.
financial outlay. At
Yeah,
the
that's the
beginning.
best kind of product service if you want to not have capital. You know, many people when they start business, they feel scared, like I'm not sure going to work because you're insecure.
Right.
So a referral business could be a stepping stone to just kind of test, because business is about fine-tuning it and getting better. Nobody starts a business like, you know, 100% great.
Right.
Right. So with a first small investment like 200, 300, right, you know, at least you can fine-tune, because you get better and better over time.
Right. You're learning about
Yeah.
being a business person.
But how to market, how to sell, and how to, you know, communicate correctly.
So
and
that's a
how
good
be
place
found.
to start
It's a good place
with
to
this kind of
start.
business.
Yeah.
Well,
Ah.
obviously, you went from a very successful online business and then now into the coaching business. So, and you're doing very well there. So, all the best as you continue to thrive in 2013. If you want to get in touch with Pam Xiao, her website is internetbizownersclub.com.
Yes.
Thanks, Pam.
Thank you. Thanks
And
for having me.
yeah, no problem. The next time when we start our online business, we'll be calling you.
Kiss 92 traffic.